This episode of Sweaty Startup is brought to you by Jobber, and I'm excited to announce that they are back as a sponsor of the Sweaty Startup podcast. And tomorrow, Wednesday, May 23rd, they're hosting a giant event called Jobber Professional Development Day. They have speakers like Gary Vee and a long list of other business leaders. And they're going to talk about how you can become a better business owner. So if you run a small business, or you're in a small business wanting to start a small business, I recommend the completely free event by Jobber called Jobber Professional Development Day. And the link to register for that is in the show notes. It's all digital webinars. You can log in from anywhere and it is completely free, which is exciting. Okay, now to the topic. I was on the call with my mentor, got off of it about 40 minutes ago, and I've been thinking pretty deeply about something that we discussed, and that is the fact that, in my opinion, 99% of people in this world have not done the work required to form and build their own opinions about the world, their own worldview, their own thoughts about how people should live or how businesses should be ran or how people should act. And what I mean by that is 99% of people are just followers. They are very easily influenced by people, other people around them, their parents, their friends, people online, influencers, the media, the news, social media, whatever it is. Doing the work to build and form your own viewpoints and worldviews is hard work because you have to think deeply about what you truly believe to be right or wrong or incorrect or correct. Part of it involves being honest with yourself. Part of it involves hard truths because, let's put it, I don't know how to put this lightly, but it's easy to believe what you want to believe, and it's really hard to believe what may not support the way you live. So if you are struggling with something or in denial about something, or you just really want the world to work a certain way, it's really easy to just accept it as truth and believe it and just hope that that is exactly how it happens. When in reality, that's not the way that you become a intellectually savvy person who has their own worldview. I'll start with myself. I'll be honest with you about a couple things that I believe that are considered quite radical in the grand scheme of things. And, I'm going to devote this a little bit around life, but this is very, very applicable to business and how you run your business and how you build wealth. The first one is money. Everybody thinks that money is the ultimate scoreboard. When, especially men, we are raised and we are sent through college and we spend our 20s and 30s trying to collect as much money as we can. And if we can't get that number higher, our status in society will not go up. And the meaning of our entire life revolves around how much money is in our checking account, how much money we earn. What does that do to us? How does that make us feel? In my opinion, that is not the meaning of life, and that is not the meaning of what somebody brings to this world. It's much more about how you spend your days. How does somebody spend their days? And I could be a 100 millionaire, but if I go down into my basement and get on a computer and spend 12 hours every single day looking at a computer screen, what does it really mean? What does it really do for me? In my opinion, a much more realistic view of how somebody lives their life and the meaning of life and how much they get out of life is how they spend their days. Because this sounds very clickbaity and non-assuming, this quote, but life is a culmination of how you spend your days. And 1,000 days stacked on top of each other, staring at a computer screen, trying to make imaginary figures in a bank account get larger, that comes with its own set of challenges. So in my opinion, it's about the people that you get to know and the experiences that you build with those people. For me, that's much more important than money. And a lot of people will spend their entire life working to raise that number, to get more money, to build more wealth. And then they realize that they have absolutely no control of their time. And by the time they realize that, they're 60, 70, 80, and they're looking back on their life, realizing that, hey, it's kind of over. My time here is coming to an end, and what I've accomplished in my life is in the books. It's written. My story is written. And yeah, I have a ton of money, but what do I have to show for it? Do I have good experiences, good memories? Do I have strong relationships with people who care about me and that I care about? You know, that's kind of a tricky thing that a lot of people might not know how to answer. There are several more of these just questions that we all have that, you know, what is the right way to feel about something? Politics is another. I won't go too deep into it, but there are certain people who believe that it's the government's job to look after us and that suffering is terrible and it should be avoided and it should be, and it can be, and it should be removed. And I've come to the conclusion that suffering is a very normal part of life for everybody. I mean, obviously some people suffer a lot more. Death is a normal part of life. It's nobody's responsibility to make my life easy except for me. It's my job. It's my job to take control of my life, to take ownership of my life, and to do what I can to ease my own suffering. But honestly, a life without suffering, a life of ease, a life where everything is handed to me or easy, is not something that I would find rewarding, right? It's the challenges, it's the fact that real estate is difficult, that raising money is difficult, that small business is difficult, that hiring is difficult, that firing is difficult, and that it's all uncomfortable and hard, and there's a lot of pain and suffering that goes along with it, and there's a lot of risk. Those are the things that make it rewarding. Same with sports. I've been getting into golf recently. The fact that golf will absolutely frustrate you and anger you and get to you as a grown man who knows it's just a game and it doesn't matter, that's what makes getting better and seeing improvement worth it. If you showed up and you were just amazing at a sport from day one, I don't think it would be very rewarding. If you were born and you were handed all the money in the world, I don't think it would be rewarding. If you lived a life where you never had pain, you never had suffering, you never had obstacles to overcome, I don't think it would be rewarding. Those are just a couple things. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is do the work to form your own opinions about things, about business. You're listening to me, you know, maybe I shape your opinions in certain ways. Maybe I get you to think differently about certain things. And that's great. That's my goal, is to help people get better, help people build wealth, help people create small businesses that are stronger, more efficient. But it's up to you. It's up to you to decide what you want in life. It's up to you to decide what you believe. It's up to you to decide how you want to raise your business, or how you want to raise your kids, and how you want to run your business. And it takes work. I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of reflecting. I am lucky enough where I get to kind of learn in real time with Twitter. I will post a thought that I have, and I have thousands of smart people challenging me a moment later, calling me out if I'm wrong, and giving me new ways to think about something. But I never look at somebody that I, you know, look up to, and I don't think, hey, this is kind of the only way. This is not the only way to think about something. It's not the only way to look at the world. I'm going to send it through my bullshit meter, and if I don't agree with it, then I'm going to think something different, and that's okay, because I'm my own person with my own views and my own way of doing things. But I'm just going to encourage you to do the work, do some thinking. Don't ever read something from somebody and look at it and say, hey, this is exactly what I want, exactly what I need to feel, because maybe it makes me feel better, maybe it's the easy way out. Do the work to form your own opinions. It'll be worth it.